Yeah, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much, the situation with your brother will come after this moment.
Yes.
So before that moment with your brother, which we're gonna get into, you could say for yourself you had no style.
I had no style whatsoever.
You just went up there and did what you wanted to
yes,
do. Like.
just let the freedom just be free. Yes.
Alright, that's cool. That's cool. Ain't nothing wrong with that. So, take us now into the situation with your brother, where you saying now your brother was showing you videos.
Okay, now so one day, my brother had called me inside of his room, and you know I went inside. He was like, "Yo, check this out." So he showed me BSV. So this is when he showed me BSV Goes Baltimore performance, right? So this is when I was like, yo, this, at that time, you know, being like 12, 11 years old, you know what I'm saying, just you know, getting into a hobby, and then somebody just show you something, you go on YouTube, you see a video, and now you've seen somebody just do some outstanding, crazy, fanatic, I don't know what to call it. At that time, I was just so inspired that it got me into, yo, I'm gonna learn whatever this nigga is doing, I'm gonna learn that shit. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So whatever crumping or whatever breakdancing, whatever I was trying to do at the time, all went out the window. Whatever this reggae, whatever this nigga was doing, he snapped his neck, whatever shit, I done broke my neck trying that shit. Whatever that shit this nigga was doing and doing that ghost walks, I was like, yo, I gotta learn that shit. So, you know, and this is when I was in VA at the time. You know what I'm saying? So I had no connections in Brooklyn, no best style with nobody. I'm not involved with BSV at the moment. I'm not involved with Loud. I'm not involved with nobody in the dance world. This is me on YouTube seeing the video of Ghost.
Okay.
And then from there, I had started searching up BSV. Then I seen Rain, Conqueror, Poba, you know, then Blackie, and then it went from Loud. Then I started seeing the Flex dancers. And I'm like, oh, it's a whole nother world out here. So that's when the whole thing started.
All right.
I seen the whole.
So now, in the midst of you coming across all this, you get a newfound inspiration for dancing through Ghost. Shout outs to Ghost.
Yeah, shout out to Ghost, man, and not only Ghost, you know, Rain too, because he plays a huge part too.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I just want to make sure everybody get their roses for their contribution to their life.
Facts.
All right. How did you find your way from VA to Brooklyn?
Here's what happened. So what ended up happening is my family ended up moving back to Brooklyn. So I stayed on Pacific and stayed at my grandmother's house. Stayed there for a while. Couldn't stay there no more. So I ended up moving to Weeksville with my grandfather. So one day, you know, I went back to my home block, which is 14th and Albany, and Fort and Pease, they had like this little block party going on. And when they had this block party going on, I pulled up to the block party, you know, and Mike Hollywood, he was the DJ for the block party. So I pulled up to the scene. Mind you, this is after I knew about the Bruck up, the flexing, this, that, and the third. So I already had seen what I have seen, so I tried to adapt what I already had learned, you know, from style.
Right.
So I go to the block party, I start dancing, you know, I start battling, I start doing, you know, doing what I was doing, and I met my close friend of mine named Javon, aka Fifth. Rest in peace.
Okay.
And he said, yo, you want to get ahead and go to the block and meet Reem and James and Killer, aka Aries, J Smooth, and you know Killer.
Okay.
So I walked down with him to Marcus Garvey and Jefferson. This is when I had met Reem, aka Aries, James, and Killer all in the same day. Mind you, so now I'm like, okay, what's going on here? Cause now I'm like, ain't this the block where niggas on YouTube were saying that they was from? And then I'm like, I seen this nigga kill on YouTube, so I'm like, this must be the nigga that's, you know what I'm saying, associated with BSV. So I'm like, okay, it all makes sense. So that's when I started, you know, understanding the culture through Reem and James and through and Killer at first, and then I had met up with Conqueror and stuff like that. But when I had met Reem, right, Reem aka Aries and James, they were the ones who actually started off my whole entire Bruck up style to teach me how to get into it. Now, all right, this is for the now.
All right,
now, all right. This is perfect. This is perfect. Believe me, this is perfect. What I'm about to say is perfect, right? All right. So check this out. So at that time, I'm all new. I don't know what's going on. I don't know who's who. I don't know what's going on. So shout out to Aries. Shout out to Reem, by the way. You know what I'm saying? He's one of my inspirations too. He's one of the people who helped started me off too.
Okay.
So here's
So
here's the funny story, right? So back then, right, he used to look up the ghosts a lot. You know what I'm saying? So he used to, dance, similar to ghosts because he used to look up the ghosts, and that was, the person he used to look up to. So when I had first met the nigga, right, yo, this is the most funniest story in the world. This nigga was like, yo, the nigga you had watched on YouTube, I'm him. So now I'm like, yo. So the nigga started dancing like So I'm believing this nigga for like a good 2 weeks. I'm thinking this nigga Reem is ghost, son. That shit was too funny. Then I zoom in on the video. I'm like, yo, but nigga, you dark skinned, the nigga light skinned. So it was just too funny. So that was like my one of my first encounters of meeting Aries and stuff like that. No, James sacrificed this nigga. Yo, word to the ancestors. Yo, look. I'm gonna tell you something, right? When he first asked me my name, he was like, yo, what's your name? I started stuttering. I was like, yo, my name is Static. Yo, when I started stuttering.
So hold on. So now this is how you will receive your moniker.
Yes, this is how I got into the whole situation.
Because you stuttering.
Facts.
And Static is born.
There you go.
All right, that was dope. So now, you found your way into Brooklyn. You meet Aries, Reem, Killer, and you see what's going on. You see like, oh shoot, this is the real thing now.
Yeah.
So now, every dancer goes through a phase of emulation before they find a fingerprint, if they want it.
Yeah.
What were you emulating coming up, and you finding yourself now dancing at this point in your life?
Okay, as like the person that I used to want to imitate to look like, or okay, yo, I was inspired by Rain style and Zombie style the most, and also Ghost style the most, because due to how fast and the whole, in the whole bell effect thing and the speed control, and I just looked it up to Rain's his foundation and stuff like that, and his just overall his melting effect. So I was just like, just looked it up to it. And Zombie, I was just mostly inspired to him, mostly because Zombie style, like I was mostly inspired because how unique he is. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't necessarily what he was doing, but it was just like the whole mindset, the mentality of the weird shit he would do, and turn and do some weird isolation. I don't know. It would just be weird. Like I just didn't understand it. Like how he'll turn his neck and it'll just look crazy. Like I don't understand that whole Zombie's just effect, which is so amazing to me. So that's why, like, he was one of the people, him, Rain, and Ghost, them three, but and Blackie too was like one of the people I used to try to emulate growing up. Coming up to build my style, yeah. But Zombie definitely played the most influence into the whole basic format. But yeah, but him and Rain was the most people who I used to try to emulate growing up.
Okay, so now, how far would I be jumping asking, when did you link up with Hood?
I linked up with Rain when I was 16. Yeah, I was 16, 15 when I linked up with Rain. As like an official teacher, you know what I'm saying? I was 15, 16, and I met him at Aries' house. He came over to Aries' house, and they was shooting a whole documentary for Lords of BSV, and they had Adriana come over and shoot the films and stuff like that. And we was dancing and stuff like that. We made some clips together, and I asked him, "You want to be my teacher?" He said, "Yeah." So, and I just kept hitting him up. Boom. Then every weekend I used to go over to the slaughterhouse every weekend. I used to travel from Jersey, because I moved out to Jersey. When I moved from New York, I moved to Jersey, and I had to travel from Jersey to New York to learn from him every weekend at the slaughterhouse. Because
how old were you at this point?
I was 16, 15, around that age.
Moving around,
yeah. So I was so into it, so I wanted to learn. And and Rain was the one who wanted to teach me, who gave me the time, because I went to others, but they didn't give me the time. But Rain was the one who had invested the time. Also, Conqueror did to FP and Bookworm. Everybody else didn't.
So now, you spend your time with Hood.
Yes.
You seeing other people in the midst.
Yes.
Where would you now display yourself to be seen publicly in the dance world?
That's a good question because I was trying. Well, what I am currently doing is with this whole dance world situation with my career. I don't want to be commercialized. I'm gonna have my own brand and my own market. I have, you know, my own thing going on. I don't want to be the dancer that's on cars. I want to build my career off of running down on dancers and talking shit and being on camera and calling out dancers instead of being on the card and battling. I want to make my career off of being like this dance assassin that talks shit on camera and that arrogant type of presence, because I feel as though like that's like a real unique career to have somebody who wasn't commercialized and just pop up like the Undertaker. You know, that's me right there. That's how I, you know, feel. So I'm not into the whole commercials, put my name on the card, static versus this person. I'd rather just pop out to the event and find the victim, and that's that. So that's my mark in the dance world. I don't want to be in a commercialized. I'm gonna be raw. Still gonna be raw. Still shock life. Not go too low. The Spanish mommies call me. Hello gay.
So
I'm bad.
How often? All right, because now, if that's the case, would you ever pop out to any of the events that Hood would attend to, or anything connected to BSV? Because necessarily, these are the people that you're pretty much running with.
You talking nowadays?
No.
Oh.
It's about like coming up.
Oh, coming up. Oh, yes.
Because it's like I'm trying to see how much ground you cover. Because again, you're in the era of like Killer and these young kids that I know. You know what I'm saying?
So
they're younger than me.
So the thing was, see.
So I know them and I know the eras before them.
Okay.
So that's why I was like, now.
Okay, so the thing is, right? The thing is with that, my career was mostly in the dark because like I didn't make as much content when I did battles.